You're such an asshole.
Good evening, afternoon, whatever time it is. It's Asshole Consulting. And we're going to answer a young man's question. Hello, asshole. I'm a 24-year-old male living at my parents' house. I went to college, majored in computer science, and landed a job right after graduation. Awesome. Just like it happened during those evil, racist, sexist, bigoted, homophobic 50s and 60s, where you graduated, you got a job. But things were bad back then because Ward Cleaver was white. We couldn't have none of that now, could we? Like many other idiots, I chose to live on campus and kept on accepting all the loans the university would give me, thinking it was free money and not worrying about it. Explain that to me. How did you, how? You go to school for 13 years, including kindergarten, and just common sense, you thought it was just free? I mean, do students really think it's just free money? Isn't there something in your head, like a little shoulder angel of finance or fucking common sense? Something in your stomach that says, why are they just giving me thousands of dollars for free? Do you really? Because you can't be that stupid. You went into STEM, you got a degree, and you're kicking ass now, so it's not an issue of intelligence. Do they really brainwash you? I mean, in between all the, oh my God, look out for global warming, oh, the white man's gonna get you, and privilege, and all this other bullshit, don't they have like, hey, here's a personal budget? Here's how taxes work? This is, by the way, here's what an IRA is. Does any of that hit the schools? Oh, that's right, because if the Democrats taught that in the schools, then the schools would be privatized and the Democrats wouldn't have the fucking slave stooges that they have. Luckily for me, I found a job right after graduation, so I was able to pay off the full loan within the first year. Here comes the problem. To pay it off that quickly, I had to move back with my parents, and have been there for almost 2 years. It's just too comfortable. They help me with everything I need, and I could save up almost all my income. I do help with the bills. I feel like I want to get my own place to be on my own, but I keep on backing out because I want to save more and more money, and because I'm just used to being here. So far, I've saved around $50,000 at the bank and have no debt. What should I do? Give me the $50,000. That's what you really should. You should really give old Uncle Cappy here the $50,000 for reasons, just for reasons. Because so far I have saved what should I do? Continue to be a parasite at my house until I save $100,000 or move out? And I say, okay, all right, let's find out what your life goals are. What do I say? Do you want to buy a house or a condo? Do you see yourself living in that area for 5 to 7 years? Please don't tell me you're in California. Blah, blah, blah. He says, okay, I wouldn't say I'm in the basement playing video games all day, but I have no social life and I don't really go out. I also don't have a girlfriend at the time and kind of gave up on looking for one online, or online dating sucks. I enjoy spending time on my own, either sleeping or learning new technologies. I know I'm quite different from most people, including my family. They look forward to the weekend so they can go out and party, while I look forward to the weekend so I can spend it reading books about technology and sleeping. I really started appreciating sleep now that I'm older. I hate to say it, once you start realizing just how boring and common the average person is, and the sports ball, and let's go to the bar again. I mean, I look forward to sleep, because then you go into this little world, this dream world, and happy things happen, and you wake up, you're like, fuck! Damn it! I don't really want to buy a house because I just don't want the responsibility, but my parents keep pushing me to buy one because theirs is doing well. Well, the boomers just know so much about finance. My life was perfect in the 50s, and I went to college. You should do it too! And they're not divorced. That's the other wonderful thing. Their parents they seem to raise a pretty good family, but they don't realize the pitfalls because they didn't have it. And they doubled their money. I live in a liberal shithole called Massachusetts, but it's no California. I would kill myself if I lived there. All right, so let's take a look at a couple things. Let's address your social. One, with your life goals, don't worry about it. And here's the thing. Normally, what we got to caution against is you being the loser parasite that has nothing else going on in their life, and you're too lazy to go out and do something with it. You're not that type of guy. You're a guy that I wish I was when I was younger, and I wish I realized that we didn't have podcasts back then, but I just liked, being intellectually stimulated. I'd rather hang out with my friends playing Dungeons and Dragons, or playing video games, or doing whatever, than going to nightclubs and bars and trying to do what everybody else says I should do at that age. And you're just a decade ahead of your peers. You're not into chasing pussy. You're not into like forfeiting all this time and resources, time being the key one, chasing down girls and trying to get dates. You're not wasting your time going out, to get laid. You got to go with the girl 3 to 4 times, and that's your rare time that you have off. And then after a while, it's a 2-week investment, and then there's drama and crap. You're avoiding all that bullshit, all right? And you're just enjoying your life, staying home and reading, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I make sure you're getting out, getting exercise. You don't want to get fat, you don't want to be stagnant, but you can get into hiking and all that. So I would not be worrying about that, because what that probably is having an effect on, I'm like, am I a loser staying at home, reading books, playing video games, living with my folks? For the most part, that would be true. But since you're just not that interested, it's... Some people, you're allowed to have different tastes and preferences than what the fucking sheep do, right? You don't have to go to a sports game. You don't have to get hammered at a bar. And the fact that is going to help you much more in the long run with your finances, obviously, with 50 grand in the bank. But I think it would also help with your friends. So I'd maybe get out a little bit, have a little bit of a social call, maybe join a reading club or so. Just get it, but more importantly, get in some exercise. And if you like being a loner, cool. Be a loner, just take it easy, just relax. Inevitably, though, you are going to have to move out of the house. And here's where you basically have to telepath and let your parents know you're not going to be there when you're 30, okay? And what I love is parents are all like pushing their kids to get out of the house, go to college, rack up debts, because they want the kids out of the house. And half the time don't give a shit what these kids major in, and therefore half the time these kids come back and live at home at 30 because they racked up a ton of debt, went on to grad school for a worthless degree, can't afford it, and then have to live back home. You are in the situation where you are making so much money and you have no debts that you will be never home at some point in time, because you'll just buy your house for cash. In other words, it is bad finances and debt that drive kids back to live with the parents at the age of 30. Whereas if you just put 2 or 3 years up front, living with your folk, paying the bills, keeping it clean, not annoying your folks, but you're building up this war chest, then inevitably you will be able to find your place. Now, I know you don't want to buy a house. I understand that. You don't want the responsibility, but inevitably, dude, you got to get out. And whereas a house, the problem with a house is it cheaper to buy than rent, and building up equity? That assumes you have a mortgage. That's where the debate comes in. If you don't have the mortgage, it's pretty moot. And one of the best moves a young man or a woman can make is to knock out their living expenses as early on in life as possible. Okay? And if you can build up the war chest by the age of 25, which even is 3 years from now, to buy a house or make a huge down payment that you could quickly pay off down the road in short order, you have improved your lifetime finances dramatically, probably more than you ever possibly could. This one move of getting a place that you can live and eliminating rent or mortgage expense for the rest of your life, that will pay for retirement unto itself. So even though I know you don't want to buy a place, even though I know you may not like Massachusetts, and normally I would say don't buy in Massachusetts, it sounds like you got a pretty sweet setup as it is right now. So what I would do, keep working at your job, and I would kind of let your career determine some things. You got the nice setup now, stay living at home, build up your war chest. Don't get a big fancy house that takes a lot of maintenance and stuff like that. I would get yourself maybe a 2 or 3 bedroom condo, so that you can rent it out to your buddies and have some extra income coming in on the side, at least for the first couple of years. Then inevitably turn that into a den or a study or a gaming room. So like a 2-bedroom condo. And I wouldn't necessarily buy it today or tomorrow. I'd wait till you have a little bit more money. But before you even do that, I would do your reconnaissance if you haven't done that yet. If you don't know what I'm talking about, get the book Reconnaissance Man. But you've been living in Massachusetts, you've been going to school in Massachusetts, now you're working in Massachusetts. Don't you want to check out shit other than Massachusetts? So I would be spending, if you could get away for weekends, fly to Denver, fly to Las Vegas, take your 2 weeks vacation, go drive around Utah, check out Phoenix, check out Arizona, stuff like that, and see if you really want to. Because here's the thing. if you buy a property in Massachusetts and also you meet this really great girl who lives in Phoenix and she's into like the video game reading thing too. Oh my God, I'm in love. And you got to go out to Flagstaff. Well, now fuck, you got this property that you kind of more or less, I mean, you can still live, you can rent it up. Now it's a pain in the ass. Now you're managing it. What I would do for the next 2 to 3 years, keep working away at your job. Pistons are firing. Don't fuck with this system. Live at home. Throw a couple bucks to your folks. Pay the bills. Tell your parents. Show them this video unless they're against cursing. Tell them your game plan. I'm going to build up a war chest. And then between now and that 2 to 3 years, your part-time job is to go and travel around the United States and figure out maybe there's another place you'd like to live. And then if that's the case, then you also know, wow, man, I really like Denver. But please read Reconnaissance Man, because it's not just like, oh, I liked it for 2 days, I'm going to come here. There's a lot more involved in it. But evaluate and explore, recon the country. Find yourself a job in this town that you've, after much research and investigation and visiting, you really like. You find yourself a job. Make sure the job is good. Make sure it is good, that it's stable. Don't buy a house. Make sure it's stable. And once you find out that the job is stable and it's good, and you know you're going to live in that town for quite some time, then I would buy a small bachelor pad type house. It could be a condo. Could be a small house with some extra bedrooms to rent out, but something that is going to allow you to never have to pay rent again. Then you're in the perfect setup. You're in the town you love. You have a job you like. You have a house with no mortgage. You maybe have some rental income, and this lays down the foundation for you to start saving up for retirement, having a lot of fun, maybe having a family down the road. Do not tell any girl you're dating that you bought the house for cash. Do not tell them that. Budget, barely made the mortgage this month. Yeah, it's a little tight. Things are tough at work. You don't tell them that. But that is what I would do. So you got some time to figure out where you'd like to live in the country. You may go travel around the country. You may find out, it sounds like you got a great relationship with your folks. You may find out you like living with your folks. Yeah, it may be all right to pay the taxes with Massachusetts. Or maybe you could find a borough or whatever they call them in Massachusetts that has low taxes. And then you just buy your house in Massachusetts. But before you start dropping the lion's share of your money on eliminating your lifetime housing expense, I would travel the country, make sure that Massachusetts is where you'd want to do that, or if there's another place out there. So you got plenty of time. You got 2 to 3 years, and your folks will probably get antsy. Tell them this plan, and then that way you'll never move back home again. Like you don't worry, I'm never coming back because I'll have my own place. Matter of fact, you guys can come visit out of the fucking snow tundra north. Visit me in Florida. They're visiting you. But yeah, you got a really good setup. Don't fuck it up. But aside from just doing a little bit of reconnaissance, yeah, I know you don't want a house. I know. But inevitably, you do have to move out of the house. And if you do it right and take advantage of your parents' hospitality and kindness, you could do it really well and make your life so much easier. I mean, I cannot even begin to explain to you how much easier my life would have been without a mortgage. I know that sounds crazy. If people didn't have to pay a mortgage, how easy would life be? It'd be as easy as your life if you don't fuck this up. Anyway, hope that helped out. If you guys got questions, go to assholeconsulting.com. I got my podcast, the Clary Podcast. You can find that on SoundCloud. We got the blog, CaptainCapitalism.blogspot.com. And if you want advice, but you're too afraid to ask, or you can't afford it, go get one of my books. We got Bachelor Pad Economics. We have Worthless, The Young Person's Indispensable Guide to Choosing the Right Major. We have Reconnaissance Man, that's what I was talking about before. Curse of the High IQ, that's for all the smart people, which you are one because you are obviously smart watching this channel. And then The Black Man's Guide Out of Poverty for black men who simply demand better in life. So, all right, we'll talk to you guys later. Toodles.